Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing my September favorites, and I have not filmed a favorites video since March of 2018. I've completely fallen off the horse, fallen off the wagon. Is that what it is? Gosh. I don't know. It's so hard for me to do favorites videos because I don't want to jump the gun and recommend something that I don't truly love. So I feel like I put so much pressure into favorites because I want to be responsible and I don't want to just be like, this is the newest thing in my collection. This is my favorite. But this past month I didn't do a shop my stash because I knew I was traveling and I just knew I wouldn't have time to film it and have it ready, and I didn't want to stress about it. So I decided to go ahead and skip my shop my stash for September, and I just focused on whatever I wanted to, and I had a lot of first impressions happening this month. I've tried a lot of new makeup in one way or another. There's just a lot of makeup coming into my life. So I kind of tried to zone in on things that I've truly been loving, less about the newer things. I do have two newish. One's newish and one's new. But overall, I wanted to focus on things I've had for a while, things I've genuinely enjoyed, and just I can fully put my heart into saying that I love them. So they're September favorites, but also most of them, except for the two newer ones, are more long-term favorites and things that I've been reaching for. And then I have one skincare thing to mention at the end, and one show that I've been really enjoying that I thought I would go ahead and include as well. And yeah, I think I'm actually going to challenge myself with this video because I saw Hannah Louise Poston do a video where she wasn't allowed to edit and she just had to make the mistakes that she made, and I thought it was so therapeutic and interesting because I kind of do the same thing where I fret over the little things and I go back and I say the same sentence over, and it really costs you a lot of time just trying to be this perfect version of yourself for YouTube and for editing. And I think today I'm just going to go ahead and flow with it. And also, I'm filming this late because my son had a cold all weekend and he did not want to sleep during his nap time, so this video is supposed to go up tomorrow morning, so maybe the less I edit, the easier it'll be to go up. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right on in. So I have talked about this many times, but I don't think I've ever talked about it really individually and gave it its true spotlight moment. This is the Shop Missy Pawpaw sponge, P-A-W, and I absolutely fell in love with this sponge. I think it is so good. It's $1.55, and I received PR from Shop Missy. They gave me a credit to choose $35 worth of stuff from their site, which is a lot. And truth be told, I still have some things I haven't even used because I'm a mess, but there were a few things that I got that I genuinely just fell absolutely in love with, and this sponge is one of them. It is so soft. It's softer than the original Beauty Blender. I just love the shape. I have tried other sponges from them that are not as good, so I definitely recommend getting this specific one. I'll make sure to link it down below. And I've actually purchased at least 10 of these myself, and I give them away all the time. I see someone talk about a sponge, I'm like, here, take this one, because they're literally so affordable. I could never see paying for an expensive sponge again. I just love this so much. I mean, I hope you can see, it is so soft and squishy. I just love how it blends things in, and it's so beyond affordable, but still really good. So I can't recommend it enough. I gave it to my best friend when I was visiting her 2 weeks ago, and she could not get over how soft it was either. So it's just amazing. It's so genuinely affordable. I don't know how they do it, but it makes me wonder how in the world Beauty Blender can charge $20 for their sponge when this is $1.55, and it is just as good in my personal opinion. I kind of saw someone the other day, they were talking on Instagram, and they said that you have to have the original Beauty Blender, that it's worth it, and I was just side-eyeing it so much because I don't think that you do, personally. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but I just think this is the best. So next, let's see. Okay, I have been loving this highlighter so much. This is the Natasha Nona Super Glow highlighter, and I have the shade Fair. I got this and I liked it, but I just really didn't give it its moment, and for some reason I picked it up again, and it's just become my everyday highlighter. So here's what it looks like. Oh gosh, I'm blurred. Okay, so here's what it looks like, and I don't know if you can tell, but it has a gigantic dent in it. I know that probably in the next month or so I'm gonna hit pan on it. I use this pretty much every day, makeup, no makeup, doesn't matter. I use it. I feel like it is so good. It's what I have on my skin today, and it's just the most beautiful glow, and it's not a glow from within per se, like it's definitely prominent, it's artificial glow, but it's also very smooth and it doesn't emphasize texture, and I just really love the shade. It's kind of like a soft golden shade. When I first got it, I thought it was a little dark for me, and I do agree that it kind of gives a little bit of a shadow to my cheeks, but if I blend it in well, it just looks stunning, and I love using this on its own without like blush or bronzer and like blending it back into the cheekbones, and it still gives a little bit of color, but it's also just the way that the light hits it is stunning. So this is one of my favorites. Actually, let me go ahead and swatch it for you. I told myself I was going to do swatches and be a good YouTuber, so here's what it looks like. And it is just super metallic and stunning. So I really, really love that color and the formula and everything. I really hope that she ends up releasing more shades in this formula because I think it's so good. It's also something that I've been recommending to friends because I feel like it's just that perfect in between of you want to glow, but you also don't want it to just be like this like stripe on your face, which I've definitely kind of been guilty of in the past, but I've been leaning more towards like that really beautiful blended highlight, which, speaking of, the way that I have been achieving that is with a new favorite brush of mine. This is the Sigma F06 powder sweep brush, and this used to be a fail for me because I got it, and I think I got it in like a set or something, and I just didn't understand what the point of it was. Like, I didn't think you could really set under your eyes. Like, I tried to highlight with it like this, and it was just like, it didn't do anything for me, and it's just been sitting with all the other brushes just collecting dust. And for some reason, I think I have a Morphe one that's basically the same. It's in the Elite line that I picked up, and I realized that if you blend it like this, I know I'm so stupid, if you blend it up like this, it is the most beautiful brush for highlight. I actually ended up liking the Sigma one a little bit more just because I feel like they have more high quality brushes and they have like a brush guarantee and everything. So if I had to recommend the Morphe or the Sigma, I would personally rather recommend the Sigma. But I just put a little bit on the brush and I just blend it in like this, and it blends so beautifully. It gives that really feathered out, just soft highlight look while still being an intense highlight in itself, but it doesn't just look like it was slapped on the face. Like, it looks like it blends into everything else that's happening. So I really, really love this brush. I feel like it is just, if you use it right, it is just so, so good. So I'm really happy that I rediscovered this in my collection. I've had it for a really long time, like probably at least a year, and never really found a use for it, but I'm glad that I didn't declutter it because I just feel like it is one of my favorite highlighter brushes now. I've kind of go through phases where I have holy grail highlighter brushes. I used to love the Anastasia A23. I had the Morphe M509 maybe. I had a phase with that one. And then the Shot Missy F19, which I still think is a phenomenal brush, and that one's only $1. Again, I give that to people all the time. I buy backups and I'm like, here, take this highlighter brush, it's the best. But I've just been really loving the shape of this one lately. Alrighty, so next, I guess I'll just go ahead and get highlighters out of the way. I have one more highlighter I want to mention, and I'm extra excited about this one. So this is the Lux Beauty Pumpkin Coconut Highlighter, and I really love this. I feel like it is so beautiful. It smells like pumpkin and coconut, and here's what it looks like on the inside. It's just a really nice highlighter. It has a little bit of a glitter to it, so I definitely recommend using this with a dense brush. I really like the Royal and Langnickel, what is this called? Their Highlight and Glow BMD 265 brush. I like using these two together just because this is a little bit more dense and flat, and I feel like it applies the glittery highlighters exactly where you want them to be rather than, you know, getting the glitter everywhere, which if you use a highlighter brush that's more soft with a highlighter like this, it's not going to apply as beautifully. But I absolutely love this. I'm like dying over the scent right now because it just smells so sweet. And it was limited edition for fall last year from Lux Beauty, but they brought it back. It was actually kind of amazing because I talked about this in what video? Maybe my chatty get ready with me about life changes and stuff. I used this and I said, like, I really hope they bring it back for fall this year because it's so beautiful. and I hate using things that are limited edition on camera when you guys can't get them. And literally that exact same day I went to post that video, it was back on their website. So you can buy this now again, which is super exciting. It's definitely like their formula. I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of powdery and thick when you swatch it. Like it kind of looks weird, but if you use the right brush, when you blend it onto the cheeks, it's just so stunning. It's ridiculous. Like they just have the most beautiful glows. And there's certain colors that I like more than others. Let me just go ahead and swatch this and blend it in. So there's what pumpkin coconut looks like. I find it to be kind of a peachy tone. I've noticed on camera it pulls more golden, but I definitely would call it a peach. So I have other highlighters from Lux Beauty that I don't love as much because I feel like they're so pigmented. Like I have the really icy white one and it's just so stark white, and because their formula is so intense, I find it to be a little bit too much for me and I don't like it. But I find this color to be perfect. I also really love Heliocentric, I think is what it's called, from their See Me From Space palette. I've hit pan on that one. So I love this. I think it's really, really nice, and I'm excited that it's available again. The packaging is different. It's not the same. And yeah, I really recommend it. I think it'll be good for a like fair to maybe like light medium skin tone. I don't know if you have more melanin in your skin, if you're like medium leaning towards tan and darker, I think that it might end up being a little bit ashy, but they do have a lot of different colors, and overall I do really enjoy their formula and highly recommend their highlighters. So you could find a color that works for you. And then next I have a bronzer, and this is the newest thing that I'm going to be talking about. And like I said, I tried not to do new things, but I'm just so absolutely head over heels in love with this product. And this is the Fenty Beauty In The Sun bronzer. So this was a gift from a subscriber, which I still feel like so, like, just weird about, like weird in the best way possible. Like I just feel so grateful and appreciative. And I wanted this for a really long time, but I wasn't buying it because A, my low buy rules, but also like I felt like I didn't need another bronzer. Like I have tons of bronzers, but this one is just so good and it's so perfect and it's the perfect color. It's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it. It's I guess my throat didn't get the no editing memo. Okay, so here's a little swatch of what it looks like, and I feel like you can barely even see it when I swatch it. But that's the point. Like it is such a fair color. It is so perfect for super light skin tones. I also really love the undertone. I feel like it's not super orange. It's almost leaning a little bit rosy, but it just looks very, very natural on the skin. I took this traveling with me when I went to my best friend's wedding, and I can't wait to see the professional pictures that we took together to see how my makeup ended up looking, because I used a bunch of my favorite products, and I can't wait to see how her makeup looked, because I did her makeup for her wedding and it was very stressful because I haven't done makeup on anyone in a really long time. I used to do my friends' makeup all the time, and then I moved and had no friends. So anyways, it was stressful. That was the first time I ever put lashes on her, and we were gonna do a trial beforehand, but there was no time. So it was interesting, but her makeup ended up looking so beautiful, and I can't wait to see the pictures. But I brought this with me, and I've been wearing it constantly since. I don't think I've worn it in my videos because I've been keeping it upstairs when I get ready and do like my daily makeup, but I just think it is the perfect tone. It blends really well. It's like completely matte, so sometimes I can kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I want more of a matte bronzer, sometimes I want a shimmer bronzer. It depends on how I'm feeling for the day, but when I'm feeling matte, I definitely have been reaching for this a ton, and I feel like it just like completely like took over like this spot of like my top favorite bronzer. Like everything else got knocked down just because I love the color so much. I love it more than the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Like it has my heart. It fully has my heart. And like I said, even though it's newer, I've been using it constantly. And like it's a bronzer. Like it's not like something like I'm gonna like suddenly stop liking. Like I love it, if you can't tell already. All right, so next, this was gonna be a favorite, but I thought I'd mention it because it's kind of like bittersweet now. This is the Appeal gel liner in the shade Deep Taupe. I got this in BoxyCharm, and honestly, I think this is probably one of my favorite things I've got from BoxyCharm, along with my different stuff from Alamar Cosmetics. But this is just the perfect liner. I don't know. It's like all the way down. Like I need to sharpen it, but it's a deep brown shade with rich, warm undertones. I don't know if you can tell from the swatch there, but I feel like this shade does so much for my eyes. It's ridiculous. Like when I use it in my waterline, it deepens and it adds kind of like that sultry look of a darker liner, but because of the warm undertone, I feel like it just brings out the green in my eyes so much, and I just used it constantly. I've sharpened it like 3 times already, and I just love it so much. Like it is the most perfect color of liner, and I mean, sometimes it does run a little bit like in like the corner of my eyes, kind of where like my crow's feet, my like crow's feet of the future are. Like they're like, there's like a wrinkle, but it's not quite crow's feet yet, but I know it will be one day. It'll run into that some, which I don't really mind because I can just wipe it off. It's not like the most long wearing eyeliner ever, but I just love the color so much. Unfortunately, I tagged them on Instagram, and they messaged me and said something along the lines of like, thank you for using our product. Here's like a $20 gift card. I don't know if they do that for everyone because like everything on their site is more than $20. So I think maybe it's like some type of like promotion to like make you want to purchase things. But I went on their site, and I think originally I saw faux mink lashes. I was looking quickly when I was checking for their cruelty-free status, and it actually says fine mink lashes. So unfortunately now I don't consider them to be cruelty-free. So I don't think I would ever repurchase this. I'm going to keep using it because I love it so much. It is the most beautiful like color. I know it just looks like a brown there, but I promise it's like the most magical waterline liner ever. So it was kind of a little bit heartbreaking when I saw that the brand sells mink lashes, but I love the color so much. So maybe if you have like a cruelty-free dupe for a really nice, deep, rich, warm brown, let me know. I have Mr. Bing from ColourPop, but it doesn't do it for me. It's not the same. So I'm open to that. I always used to want Teddy from MAC, but MAC's not cruelty-free. I think it was Teddy. I'm pretty sure that's the one everyone used to talk about. All right, so next, another newer product, but I have been using it constantly just as much as I thought I would. This is the Natasha Nona Gold palette. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I just like lusted after this palette for a really long time. I wanted it for so long, and it was hard to justify just because it is so expensive. I gotta sneeze. My nose didn't get the no editing memo either. Okay, I'm fine. So it was hard to justify purchasing this because it is an expensive palette. It's such a treat, and I have so many other palettes, but it went on sale on Beautylish, and I got a new job, and I was like, I deserve it. So I went ahead and purchased it, and I do not regret it. I love it. So I'm not going to give my full thoughts on this palette right now just because I plan on doing 2 different types of like duping videos. My eyes are watering because of that like moment where I have to sneeze. Every time I have to sneeze, like it makes my whole face like do this thing. But originally I thought I was going to do one full video like all encompassing this and like comparing it to other things, but I think that's too much. I'm going to go ahead and split it into one where I'm going to compare it to, let me see, I don't know where it is. The Alter Ego palette from, oh wait, no, it's Alter Ego, and it's the Goddess palette, and it's basically like a really affordable dupe for this palette, which I received in PR. So I'm going to do one video comparing it to that, hopefully very soon. Maybe like I'll film it next week or sometime this week, and then I'm also going to go through my entire singles collection and dupe every shade that I possibly can, at least probably for the shimmers. I don't know, I feel like the mattes aren't that special other than maybe like the mustardy Dijon shade here. I like the mattes. They blend beautifully. I think that they're amazingly complementary towards the shimmers, but I think when people want this palette and when they lust after this palette, they're looking at the shimmers, not the mattes. So I think I'm going to do like a separate singles video, and I have some ideas, and I got some ones from Cleona that are kind of similar, so we'll see how it ends up going. But just speaking on this palette as its own thing and not comparing it to everything else, I love it so much. It's what I have on my eyes today. Like, I just love the textures and the formula. The mattes all blend so well. They're so buttery smooth. Like, I can use 2 mattes and it looks so dimensional. And then the shimmers, I personally prefer to apply the shimmers with my fingers, and I really love like the blown out shimmer look. Makes my heart beat fast. So overall, I'm just really, really loving it. I've been using it basically every single day. I get compliments when I wear it. I feel like these kind of tones just really complement my hair color and my eye color, and it just all looks really nice. My go-to look has mostly been this lighter brown shade here, and then, oh no, sorry, this deep brown in my crease, or my outer V. Geez, I'm a mess. And then whatever shimmer I do on my lid is basically different every single day. Sometimes I do the really bright one. Sometimes I do this one. I like doing this one on most of my lid and then just popping this more glittery shimmer onto the front part of my lid. And then like this one as well is just the most beautiful duochrome. So it's like a white gold shade. I don't know. I just love it overall so much. I can't get enough. And it has been my everyday palette basically. I've had a few palettes that I keep out that I use more consistently other than like what I'm planning on specifically filming with, but most of all I've just been reaching for this. There's been moments like the other day I wore what was I wearing? I wore like this really beautiful like blush lace top, and I went ahead and went for like a more mauve-y look and I used something else, but most of the time if I'm wearing like blue or browns or neutrals and basically anything that goes along with this is what I reach for. So maybe I'll do a few swatches for you real quick, although I have swatched them before in my first impression video, but I just love the shades. I feel like I'm going to do like the shades that everyone talks about, like this one here, Brass, is so intense and beautiful, and I feel like these two shades, like they basically have the exact same duochrome going on. Limechrome has a little bit more of a bright green, but they are very, very similar overall. And then I love Dijon, like all the time. It's so good. So I love this palette. It's one of my favorites, and even though I have some things that are kind of comparable in my collection and everything, every time I use this, I just feel so lucky to have such a beautiful Natasha palette. Like, it feels so special to me, and I don't know, it was funny the other day, my son actually stuck his finger into this blue shade here, and then he swatched it on his hand, and then he walked over and grabbed a makeup wipe to wipe it off. I'm like, you watch me way too much, but I love it. I love it so much, and I'm so happy that I have it. And even though like no, it's not a necessity and like I could live my life just fine without it, it does bring me joy, and that's the point of makeup to me. So I love it. I love those colors there too. Those three are probably my favorites. Should I swatch them on my arm? Sure. Also, the shimmery blue I just mentioned, it swatches horrible, but it applies so beautifully to the eye. I remember my first impression, I was like, ooh, that's interesting, but it actually does apply really, really well. All right, we only have a few more things to mention. So next, I'm going to be talking about the NYX Glitter Primer, which just looks like this. And I had this for so long, for years. I recently repurchased it just because I wanted to make sure that I was being sanitary. But I just love this so much. Actually, I didn't use it today, which is surprising because I normally use it with Natasha shadows because I feel like it helps there be less fallout. But I use this almost every single day now. It's so affordable. Again, it's only $5, and it makes your eyeshadow just look so much better. For me, it's like a no-brainer. I normally just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I'll tap my finger in and then just tap it over my lid. I don't even have to go in with a brush unless I'm trying to specifically do something super precise. So I find that it just takes literally a moment. I just let it get tacky for like 10 seconds, and then I apply my lid shade, and it looks more shiny, more glittery, less fallout. I just feel like, yes, it's an extra step added to my routine, but in the long run, I feel like it's totally worth it. So I don't know. It's like an invisible product. It's not something you're really gonna see, but it does make such a difference. So I love it. I highly recommend it. And it's funny because I had it for so long and I'm just now singing its praises. But seriously, I recommend everyone go out and buy this. I think it's so good. Amazing. And also you can use it with a brush, very precise if you want to do like a faux cut crease, and it's a lot easier and less tricky than doing a cut crease with concealer. Love it. All right, so the last makeup item that I thought I would mention is my little DIY like custom palette that I did. So this is the Divina like holographic palette, but I don't even have any Divina shadows in here, which is kind of funny that it's a Divina palette with no Divina shadows. But anyways, this is my custom inner corner palette, and I did a single shadow Saturday where I went through and talked about every single shade and swatched them and kind of gave my thoughts on them. And ever since then, I've been using this consistently. I've been bringing it with me everywhere I go. Like anytime I want to do my makeup, like I just love having this palette so much. And I feel like it kind of speaks for itself because I do custom palettes all the time, and I like do little color stories and I put them all together. And then within normally a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they end up getting dissolved. One shadow goes over here, another one goes in this, and they all end up finding their own places wherever they go. And the once beautiful palette that I had is no longer there, but this palette I just cannot split. Like I just love having it all together. I love having basically every type of inner corner highlighter I could possibly want all in one. And maybe I could eventually see swapping out a few shades and putting other inner corner highlighters in here just to, you know, keep it fresh and, you know, just keep it spicy. But I love this palette so much, and I think it's so fun. If you love inner corner colors and you're kind of like very passionate about them like I am, like I love this. And I'll use palettes all the time, like, oh, this doesn't have an inner corner color. And before I used to be annoyed and I'm like, oh, I had to look through this and look through that. I'm like looking through all these palettes to find exactly what I want. But now it's just a no-brainer. Like this is my companion to everything. Like it's all right here. I've also used some of these shades as highlighters for the face as well. I think they're all so beautiful. So I love it. I feel like it was a good creation. I'm very proud of it. And also it's caused me to remember certain shadows. Like some of these, obviously, I've used a lot and I've loved and I know them by heart. But other things like this one right here is Walk of Shame from Luxie. Just double checking. Walk of Shame from Luxie. I got that one. I never really used it that much. But now that I have it in this palette, it kind of holds its own because it's a different undertone. It's kind of like a pinky purpley shift to it. And all the other shades in here are more golden and greens and blues. So this one kind of speaks for itself, and I just love it. Like, I love it so much. And before, it was kind of forgotten about a little bit, but it is such a beautiful inner corner highlighter. And sometimes I'll mix, like this one right here is from Kitten Boss Cosmetics, and it's called Rhinestone Color. And it's kind of like this like little glittery top coat. So I'll do something like Walk of Shame, and then I'll put the glittery top coat on top of it. Like, look at that. It's like inner corner purple heaven. I love it. So really, really love this palette. I know it's not something you can just go out and buy, but if you have single shadows and you love inner corner highlights like I do too, then maybe this would be a possibility to put together. You don't even have to do like 12 pans. You could do like a little quad. Like, I love it. I'm very happy with it, and I plan on keeping it together for a really long time. Maybe I'll throw some Divina shadows in there. Actually, I don't really have any like inner corner, like true inner corner highlights from Divina. Now that I think about it, I just did, I did a like full collection review, and I went to use one of the shades on my inner corner because it was like the only option, and it was like way too dark and it looked super funny, and then I had to put a highlighter on top, and it was a whole thing. But anyways, the skincare product I want to talk about today is from Pixi, and this is their Rose Tonic. It's a rose and elderflower nourishing toner. So here's what it looks like, and I did receive this in PR from Pixi. It was like a whole like really beautiful package of like their rose line, and I've been using things over time, and I've just come to absolutely love this toner. I feel like I'm still breaking out, like I'm still human, I'm still hormonal, stressful, like all those things. But when I use this and when I use it consistently, I feel like I can see a difference in my skin health and the appearance of my skin. Like, I still have acne, like it's there, but like the overall appearance of my skin, I feel like is so much brighter and tighter, and like it just looks healthier. It's so hard to explain, but I can notice that difference in myself. There's certain skincare products that I just see that, like the Patchology sheet mask. I also notice that for days afterwards when I use them, like my skin just like peps itself up, and I can see that difference. I'm sure most people, unless they like genuinely like stare at me all the time and like really know my face the way I know my face, they probably wouldn't notice. But for me, I see the difference. I also think it smells really nice, and it's just nice to do in the mornings, and I do it before I go to bed as like my last step. Actually, not my last step. I moisturize after this if I'm not feeling lazy. It depends. My lazy skincare routine is normally just like washing my face and then using a little bit of this, but I really need to make sure I'm moisturizing, especially as I go into winter. But I just really love this. I do have their regular tonic. I think it's called the Glow Tonic. I have like a gigantic size that they sent me. So when I finish the rose one, I'll probably just go back to my camera, stop recording. So when I finish this, I'll go back to using the regular one. But when I finish that one, I could possibly see buying the rose one again, just because I kind of like the smell. I think it's nice, but it's not like an artificial rose scent. I feel like it's like an earthy dirt rose scent. It doesn't feel like it's messing with my skin. I don't feel any sensitivity to it. I just realized, did I talk about this? I can't remember. Oh my gosh, I'm such a mess. I don't think I talked about this product. I really don't think I did. I also wanted to include, I have it literally right in front of me for my September favorites, the Linda Hellberry lipstick in the shade Pink Opal. I just absolutely adore this lipstick. Here's what it looks like. I'll roll it out for you. It's honestly just my perfect My Lips But Better color, and it's just like a light tinted pink, but also it has a glossy finish. I'll go ahead and swatch it for you. So there's what it looks like. I have it on my lips today, and I've just been reaching for this constantly. I've actually went ahead and put this in my purse as my like everyday lipstick, which I'm not really an everyday lipstick type of person. I honestly normally just wear like chapstick or like a light gloss. Like I rarely do I wear lipstick for longer periods of time, which is sad because of the amount of lipsticks that I own, but I'm just all about comfort, and so I don't know, I don't do that. Although it depends. With fall and liquid lipsticks, things might change up a little bit more, but I've been using this constantly. I feel like it is super comfortable. I love the formula, and I had so much fun trying Linda Hellberry a few months ago this year. So I think this and the little puffy thing, that the little triangle puff that they have been the products that have continued to just make it into my everyday makeup routine. So I really love this. I think it's just really nice. It doesn't really smell like anything. I think I'm honestly just smelling the highlighter that I already swatched. So I love it. Highly recommend if you're looking for a really nice semi-glossy lipstick. They do have a bunch of different colors. I really hope to buy more in the future. I hope that they keep coming out with more neutral shades. If they're more neutral shades, they will be mine because I love it, even though I don't need more lipsticks, but it's phenomenal. All right, so those are all of the products that I wanted to mention today, I'm pretty sure, but I thought I would go ahead and mention a show really quickly that I've been loving. So that sounded creepy, but I can't edit it out. So there's a show that I've been watching on Univision now, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to find it on YouTube or if it's going to be available anywhere else. I'll do some research and link it if I can, because Univision costs like $10 a month. But it's called La Usurpadora. Usurpadora? I don't know. I haven't heard anyone say the actual title, so I'm pretty sure La Usurpadora. But basically, it's this really intense show that I've been watching through most of September since it aired. And it's about the First Lady of Mexico. She hates her life. She's a little crazy, and she finds out that she has like this long lost twin sister, and so she what's the word? It starts with a B. She blackmails, basically, kind of kidnaps her sister, and forces her to pretend to be the First Lady, and then she tries to kill her so that everyone will think she's dead and she can go live her life with her lover. So that's all in the first episode. It's also in the words escape me. It's also in the trailer for the show, so I'm not really giving anything away. It is in Spanish, so again, I'll look and see if I can find anything with like English subtitles, but it is so good, and it's so intense and so suspenseful, so I've just been enjoying it so much, and I'm pretty sure it only has 25 episodes, which makes me really sad. I'm gonna like cry when it's over because it's so good, and it has Arab Era Bethnick, something like that. Oh gosh, I love him so much. I feel like he has the most like arrogant accent, but it's also like 10 out of 10. I love it. So I highly recommend watching that show if you are interested. It's really good, and that's been a favorite of mine this month. So that is basically everything. I can't believe I actually made it through this video without saying the same sentence 10 times. It's kind of a miracle, kind of freeing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.